Hi everybody, it's Nick from Lake Geneva Country Meats, and today I'm going to show you how to cook a rib roast. Some people call this a prime rib or a standing rib roast, and I'm going to show you why it's called a standing rib roast, but this is one of the most delicious pieces of meat that you can cook. A lot of people like to make it for holidays, but you can make it anytime you want to feed a crowd a really great piece of meat. People get scared about cooking this because it is an expensive cut, but I'm going to show you how easy it is to do. The quality of the meat is so good, it's really hard for you to screw up. All you need to do is season it properly and rely on our good friend, the temperature probe. So let's get started. We have our rib roast wrapped up and ready to go here. So let's unwrap it and take a look at it. This is an awesome piece of meat. We call it a rib roast because these are rib bones. You can see this one's a 3-rib roast. When you order a rib roast, we like it if you order by number of ribs because we want to keep those ribs intact, and as you can see, it stands up on a roasting pan. That's what makes it a standing rib roast. One of the things we do at Lake Geneva Country Meats that makes your job a lot easier is we take and slice off the bones right down here and tie them back on. When it comes time to carve this, it's going to be so much easier because we did that. If your butcher doesn't do that, you might want to consider doing that before you cook. I told you this is the easiest thing to cook, and this recipe is really simple. We have our oven preheated to 500 degrees, get it nice and warm because we want a nice sear on the outside of this. The first thing to do is season it up. Use your favorite steak rub. You can use just salt and pepper. You can use a Montreal steak rub, your own secret rub, doesn't matter, whatever you like. Personally, I really like our ultimate steak and roast rub. It's got a great combination of salt, pepper, garlic, and some other savory spices. Season all of the outside and be generous. So let's get this seasoned everywhere. Don't be shy while you're seasoning. Be generous. There's a lot of meat on the inside that won't be seasoned, so definitely make sure to get it all. Another tip to make sure this turns out great is to let the roast sit at room temperature for about 30 minutes before you start seasoning it. We have the roast seasoned, and now to make sure that we cook it to perfection, we're going to put a temperature probe in. A remote temperature probe makes sure that you cook the roast to the proper temperature. I'm going to give you some time frames, but you always want to cook to temperature. Every oven is different, every roast is a little bit different. So if we cook this to 130 degrees internal temperature, that's medium rare, you don't want to overcook this. We'll get it to that perfect temperature regardless of what your oven cooking time is. So let's get the probe in, and then we can put it into the oven that's preheated to 500 degrees. To put the probe in, you want to make sure that you aren't touching any bones and that you insert it into the thickest, most center part of the meat to get an accurate temperature. So let's put it right in here. That should be good in the middle. Then we're going to plug it in, set an alarm for 130 degrees. 135 degrees internal doneness is a nice medium rare. We want to cook it to about 5 degrees under that because once we take it out of the oven, temperature will keep coming out. So we're going to put this into our oven that's preheated to 500 degrees. Cook for 15 minutes at that temperature, then drop the heat down to 350 and cook for approximately 10 to 15 minutes per pound. This is about a 7 or 8 pound roast, so do the math out on that. But most importantly, we want to watch the temperature. Take it out when it gets to 130 degrees. We're going to get this in the oven and let it cook. Let's let that roast. Do not peek inside. Trust your thermometer, trust the time, check that. Don't open the oven. You'll let all the heat out and let it cook not well. So just let it go. Enjoy the smells. Our rib roast reached 130 degrees. It's sizzling, it smells amazing. So let's pull it out of the oven, take a look, see what it looks like. Oh, wow. Wow, this looks amazing. I mean, look at how beautifully caramelized that is from the 500 degrees that we started it with. Now, I know we just want to dig in and eat it, but it's very important to let this rest. First of all, if you're going to carve it, you want it to not be super hot and burn your hands, but also we want all the juices that have come to the surface to redistribute and go back into the middle. So we're going to wait 15 minutes. I know it's a long 15 minutes, but it's very important to wait 15 minutes. Then we're going to cut the bottom of the ribs off, and it's already pre-cut, so all we have to do is take the strings off and slice this up and serve. We've waited 15 minutes. It's been a hard wait, so now it's time to carve this. First thing we want to do is take and separate these bones. At Lake Geneva Country Meats, we've already done that for you, so all we have to do is cut the strings off, take these strings down, and then you can separate the rest of the meat off from those bones. Now, you can throw this away, or you can use the meat for snacking and the bones for soup base, but these are not dog bones, so don't feed these to your dogs, it's a hazard, but you can use them for a base for a sauce or gravy, things like that. So let's grab a cutting board, grab the roast, set this on here, and now it's time to slice this roast. There's two ways you can do this. Some people like to slice off here, this tail here. This has more fat, so if you don't like a ton of fat, slice that off first. I personally like it, and I think it slices a little bit more easily with that on, so we're gonna leave that on. Start taking nice slices off. And this is like your supper club prime rib. Look at this. Looks like we got one last slice here. If we just split the difference between the edges. I love eating the end pieces because they have the most seasoning on them. Nice, crisp, crunchy. So those are a great piece. All right, this is our beautiful, beautiful prime rib roast. All sliced out, ready to serve with gravy, mashed potatoes, green beans, all your favorite sides. Whether it's a holiday treat or any type of get-together, this is just a great piece of meat to enjoy with people that matter to you. Thanks for watching. Remember, cook to temperature, not time. We hope you enjoy it, and we'll see you soon at Lake Geneva Country Meats.